You're listening to Soul Growth with me, Jade Stoner. Here we go beyond performance and surface level success and return to your true source of power, you. When you come home to yourself, when you allow your soul to lead, you access a depth of peace, safety and self-trust that success alone was never meant to fulfill, without losing your edge, ambition or vision. You get to live a life that feels as eternally rich as it looks outwardly impressive, and it begins within you. Hello and welcome to this episode of Soul Growth. So, let's be real. Earth is ghetto right now. There is so much going on. There's so much noise. We've got crime rates increasing. We've got fear-mongering at an all-time high. There are wild things going on in politics and entertainment. This is all just the things at the collective level, the collective experiences, without even taking into account what might be going on for you right now as an individual. At the time of recording, it's December, we're coming up to Christmas. That brings a whole set of noise with it, and New Year and all of the things. It's a lot. It can feel like a lot. You know, there's a lot of division out there right now. As I've said, a lot of noise, a lot of confusion, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. And this episode is about sharing some tips with you to help bring you back into your own inner harmony, your own inner peace, and finding that equilibrium within yourself, because that's really what all of this, you know, it's not about getting caught up in the noise of the outside world. Yes, we live in this world and we're a part of it, but you don't have to get caught up in it all. It's about focusing on what you can control, which is yourself, and it's about conscious living. I read years ago, or I heard years ago, that World War III is not going to be a physical war, and that World War III is actually an attack on our minds. You know, it's spiritual and mental warfare. And the more and more I look out at the world, that the more and more of that I see. And you might be wondering, well, why would they do that? And the simple answer is control. We live in a time where more and more of us are waking up to the truth that we are more than just these physical human bodies, and there is more to life than going to school, getting a job, working 9 to 5, paying bills, retiring, dying. And the more and more people that are challenging that status quo, like you and I, the harder it is to control those people. If you're in charge of running the world, if you're in charge of controlling masses of people, the best way to control them and to put them back in their box and stop them from dreaming big and waking up and recognizing the truth of who they are and changing the way things have been done for centuries, is to scare the shit out of them. And how do you scare the shit out of them? Well, you use mass tools, mass media. You use the news, social media. You use the radio. You use magazines, newspapers, all of these things. There's so many things that are going on, and this episode isn't about getting into all of them. It's just about highlighting all of these things to you so that you can, from a bird's eye view, get an overview of what's going on and a reminder to not get caught up in all of that crap. Don't get caught up in the noise. A lot of people get caught up in the sad things. You know, there are wars going on in the world right now, and that is flooded through the media and shown to us. But often we're only shown so much. You know, you have to remember that these outlets show you what they want to show you. And for everything that we're shown and for everything that we are told, there is a whole lot more that we do not see, hear or know. Know that you've got a good heart, you're a good person, and it's very easy to get caught up in the sadness. But here's the thing. You can't help the world get better whilst you're being dragged down in all of the noise and the drama and the pain and the unrest that is being shown. When you give your attention to something, you give your energy to it. And where your energy goes, that thing grows. So the more of us that are putting our focus on the sad and the negative things in life, the more that thing has a hold, the more that thing stays. The way to help a situation like that is to focus on yourself, because you are the only thing that you can control in this world, and to raise your own vibration and to be able to look at and come at a situation from a higher plane. That's how you help. When you're caught up in the pain and when you're looking at it from a lower vantage point, you are also caught up in all of that. And you can't help in that way. So the best thing for you to do is to raise your vibration. There have been studies done where they've brought together hundreds, thousands of people to an area, and they've sat them in meditation, and they have focused on their own inner peace and their own minds, and being in that meditation, in that place of peace, that place that they have brought them to, where there were higher crime rates. So the one that I'm thinking of was done in Washington, DC, when there was a lot of crime going on in Washington at the time. And they had a mass meditation, thousands of people. And after that meditation, the crime rates actually decreased. And so I share all of that with you to share with you the power that you have, because you have a lot more power than you realize right now. And again, the way to help the world is to raise your own vibration. The ripple effects of us as individuals doing this work and being responsible for our own healing and our own inner game, that's how we change the world. When you cultivate an inner relationship with yourself and your intuition and your higher self, and you learn to find peace in the chaos, from this calm and stable and full place within yourself, you're able to think more clearly and respond to what's going on in the world outside of you instead of reacting. You're going to be able to do what you're being guided to do from your soul and not your ego. Just because you're on a spiritual journey, it doesn't exempt you from life. And this isn't about trying to avoid the pain or ignoring the world outside of you and burying your head in the sand. It's about being able to manage your emotions intelligently and doing life from an empowered, conscious, centered place, and being able to carry yourself through the ups and downs of life. So I shared some hacks with you in episode 3 to help you shift your mood and elevate your vibe. And those are still really relevant. And I also wanted to share some more practical hacks with you to support you through this ghetto time here on earth. This is all about spiritual hygiene. You know, the same way you take care of your physical hygiene, you need to take care of your spiritual hygiene too. That has always been important, but as we navigate through this time of all this noise, all this chaos, all of these distractions, it's even more important right now. And it's the difference between you sinking and swimming. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And these are all the things that you need to take care of, and all of the things that you can control because they are within you. How you feel, your energy, that's on you. It's not on anybody else. And it's easy to blame outside circumstances and say, oh, well, this is going on and this just happened and I read that on the news and whatever. But here's the thing, no one's forcing you to watch that stuff. And this isn't about toxic positivity. You know, I did an episode talking about the detrimental effects of positive thinking all the time. Like, that's not what I'm going for here. This is about reminding you of your power and reminding you to take full responsibility for yourself and for your life. Because this is what is required for you to get to your next level and create the life that you truly want. To be able to stay rooted like a tree in a storm. How do trees stay rooted in a storm? They have strong roots. They have strong foundations. And this is what you need to cultivate for yourself. So I'm going to share 7 tips with you to help you do just that. These tips aren't about you bypassing what comes up for you or the negative emotions that come up inside of you. You know, themes of pain come up for a reason. Your negative memories, feelings and things, they're indicators, they're signposts, and they're pointing you, guiding you on where to heal so that you can grow to your next level. So let's get into them. Number one, putting a bubble of protection around yourself. Now, this is really, really simple, and you might dismiss it because it's like, well, what's the point? This does work, and with this and every other tip that I'm going to share with you, I'm just going to say, give it a try. Like, what have you got to lose? None of these things are hard to do. They're all very easy to do. And most of them, you don't need anything additional to do them. Like, you have everything you need inside of you. Putting a bubble of protection around yourself is literally using your imagination and using your intention and visioning a bubble, literally a bubble going around you, head to left to right, right to left, and imagine that bubble is a bubble of protection. And that bubble of protection keeps all low vibrational, negative energy, drama, chaos, anything that you don't want in your life away from you. It may try and come in, but it will repel from that bubble and it will not impact you. Now, when you first start doing this, you may find that things still impact you. But when you keep at it and you start to believe in it more and your intention gets stronger and stronger, that's when it works better. You can do this every morning before you start your day. You can do it before you're going into an environment where there's a lot of people, going on public transport, going to a shopping centre, for example. You can do it multiple times throughout the day. The most important thing is your intention, and having and holding that intention that once you put that bubble around you, no bullshit can come through that. It lets good things in, but not bad things. And your love and your light can still emanate out through that bubble, but nothing crap can get in. This is a really great tool to teach to your children. Tell them to put a bubble of protection around themselves and allow them to have that tool in their toolkit to protect themselves so that they understand that they have that power and nothing has power over them other than what they allow themselves to give their power to. And it's a bit of fun too. If you've seen Harry Potter, the final movie, there is a scene where Mrs. McGonagall puts a huge protection shield around Hogwarts. And that's the kind of thing that we're going for here. It's also something that you can put around your home, you can put around your car, you can put around your workspace, whatever it is that you want to protect and you want to shield. Number 2 is salt. I've written salt baths, but you might be a shower person, or you may not have time for a bath, or you may be like I used to be back in the days where I just straight up didn't like baths. So it's not so much about a bath, it's more about the salt. Salt is a way of protecting, and it's also a way of purifying. So again, this is very simple. You run yourself a bath, you put some salt in it. Epsom salts are really, really great, but it doesn't have to be Epsom salts. A few months ago, I'd run out of Epsom salts, kept forgetting to buy them, didn't use that as an excuse. I took table salt out of the kitchen cupboard and I poured table salt in the bath. It still worked. And with this, the way to know if it's working is, the way I look at it is sometimes I feel a little bit foggy. I feel a little bit heavy. And I get in a salt bath and I can literally feel that fog just falling away. And it's like your vibration going from a level 2 up to like a level 7. So you can take my word for it. I don't tell lies. But more importantly, I encourage you to try this for yourself and notice how you feel before and after that bath. If you're in the shower, just put some salt into your hands and just brush it over you and pay the most attention to like the base of your skull, like the back of your neck. Also your first eye. I call it your first eye. Most people call it your third eye. And also around like your shoulders and your chest. Again, just wash it over yourself and just notice how you feel. The salt is clearing the dense old energy from you, and water in and of itself is a purifying and healing thing. So even if you don't want to do the salt, if you feel crap, go get in the shower, go take a bath, go swim in the sea. Like, the river, the lake, wherever, it doesn't matter. Just put yourself in water. Number 3 is to shake, like literally shake it like a Polaroid picture. If you know where that song's from, you know, we good. Your body is a really, really powerful tool, and it holds everything. And sometimes when we are experiencing something that makes us feel sad or makes us feel angry or whatever, and we don't know how to move that energy through us so that it's released, it gets stuck in our body. Sometimes we do that because we suppress our feelings and emotions. Sometimes it happens because you can't express yourself in a moment. Sometimes it happens because literally you don't know how to deal with that emotion in that moment, and you think because whatever period of time after, you're not feeling that emotion anymore, it's gone. But actually it gets stuck in your body. Your body holds everything. So what shaking does is it helps you to move those stuck low vibrational feelings and emotions out of your body. So literally shaking your whole body, head to toe, arms, legs, hands, feet, all of the things, and just doing that for a few minutes, just 5 minutes. Again, very simple to do. And just notice how you feel before shaking versus how you feel after shaking. Pay particular attention to your shoulders. We hold a lot in our shoulders, and also to your hips. A lot of unrepressed emotion gets stuck in your hips. So pay particular attention to those areas, but shake your whole body. This doesn't have to be complicated, you know, just fit it into your day. When I'm cooking dinner of an evening, I often shake them, because what else are you doing while you're waiting for a pot to boil or some food to cook? Use your time wisely. Use that time to make yourself feel better. And you don't even have to be feeling crap for you to shake and raise your vibration. You might be feeling good. Shake, because it helps you feel even better. It's not about what you look like, you know. We're not here making a TikTok video or an Instagram reel or a YouTube video. Like, nobody needs to see you. So shake like nobody's watching and have fun. Well, what's the point of life if it's not fun? Number 4, focus on your breath. This is so simple and so important and so overlooked. I don't know the percentage, but most of us don't breathe properly. Most of us just breathe from our chests and not from our bellies. So it's a shallow breath rather than a full breath. When you focus on your breath, just even as simple as focusing on breathing in and breathing out and doing that a few times will literally change your state. It will move you from anxious to calm. When life feels stressful, when things feel overwhelming, it's very likely that you hold your breath. And you probably don't even realize this right now. But it's a survival state and something that you probably very likely learned in childhood. When we are triggered, our breath naturally becomes more shallow anyway, because it activates our nervous system. And when your nervous system is activated, breath gets shallow, energy rushes to your legs, and the bottom line is we're not breathing properly. And that is often a very big part of what makes us feel tense and anxious and uncomfortable. So remembering in those moments to come into your breath is really, really powerful. The most important part is the breath out, because when you're in that stress state and you've breathed in, you hold your breath, you're not breathing out, and that's what is signaling to your nervous system that it's an unsafe situation. So remember to breathe out. There's a really great technique called the 4-7-8 breath. And this is very simple. You breathe in for 4, you hold for 7, and you breathe out for 8. And you can adjust that as is needed. If you can't hold your breath for 7 seconds, you can reduce that number. The most important part of this is making the out breath longer than the in breath. So if you breathe in for 3 seconds, breathe out for 6 seconds. If you breathe in for 2 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds. Remember, it's that breath out that is the most important. Number 5 is about being silent and going within. As I started out by sharing in this episode, the world is really noisy. At this time of year, you've got all the Christmas noise. There was Black Friday a couple of weeks ago. That was hella noisy. It's a lot. And sometimes we just need to switch off, detach, lock off everything and just go within and be with yourself. And that could look like meditation. It could look as simple as sitting down for 5 minutes and focusing on a point in the room that you're in. It could be focusing on the flame of a candle. It's not so much about what you're doing as it is about doing it and finding that silence, finding that moment to just be with yourself. Lots of people think that you need to meditate for 20, 30 minutes every day. And if you can do that, great. However, 5 minutes a day will make so much difference. And 5 minutes of something is better than 0 minutes of nothing, right? So just set yourself a goal of meditating for 5 minutes every day, or finding yourself in silence for 5 minutes. Put your phone on airplane mode, put a timer on, sit there, breathe, focus. And again, just notice how you feel before and after. It's very likely that you're going to feel a lot better, and just keep on doing it. You know, all of these things work, but you have to do them. Number 6 is getting out in nature. This is, again, such an underrated and overlooked thing, but it's so, so important. Our ancestors spent so much time in nature and they worked with the cycles of nature. And in our modern day world, a lot of us have become so disconnected, and it's such a simple and profound thing that can change your state and elevate your vibe very quickly. Nature has so much to give, whether it's going and sitting out in your garden for, again, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Going to sit in the park, going for a walk in the park, in the woods, the mountains, like whatever that is for you and whatever that looks like. Again, it's not about where you go and how you do it, as it is about going and actually doing the thing. Make sure you're fully present in nature. I've been around the personal development industry for a really, really long time. And one of the things that we were taught years ago was to use every nook and cranny of time. You know, in your commute, listen to something positive and inspiring and uplifting. When you're cleaning your house, to do that. When you're doing anything that would be considered a mundane task. And one of the things was go for a walk and listen to a podcast or an audiobook. And that is great and it's really powerful. And it's also great and really powerful just to not be listening to anything and just be present with yourself. You know, you can be walking through nature and at the same time be in silence and focus on your breath. You know, that's 3 things in one. It's really, really healing and it's nourishing and it's a way of naturally calming your nervous system and bringing you back into inner balance. So get out in nature. Number 7 is play. Literally go and play. Like, embrace your inner child. Put down your phone, turn off the screens, go old school. Board game, card game, whatever. Get a puzzle out. And what's really beautiful about those kind of things is if you have a family, like, it brings you all together. And there might be some resistance at first and there might be some moaning, but it quickly passes and everybody gets into it and your brain shifts gear and it's not thinking about a phone, a TV or whatever. It's focused on the game and it's focused on winning, and next thing you know, you're arguing over a Monopoly board game. But it's fun and it's giving your brain a time to reset without a screen. But that's just one version, one form of playing. You might choose to Go to a spa. That might be your idea of playing and having fun. When you're out in nature, take your bike, go on the swings, skate, like just have fun, and don't be so caught up in what it looks like or what other people might think of you. Just follow your inner nudge, follow the instructions from your inner child, and go have fun. It's so important to nurture yourself and take care of your energy for success, but this isn't about perfection. You know, perfect doesn't exist. You're human, and there will be days when one of these 7 things won't work for you, and that's okay. There will be days when none of them work for you, and that's okay. Just get back up and go again. So make a commitment to yourself to take full responsibility for these things and work on them every single day. Like, just choose one. Pick one and say, right, I'm going to try this for a week. The truth is, yes, the world is noisy and it is ghetto. And again, to remind you that all of that is a distraction. Don't get caught up in it and focus on what you can control, which is you. This is how you help the world. It echoes out, it ripples out. So that is all for today's episode. I will see you in the next one. Until then, big love. Thank you for joining me on Soul Growth. There's something in this episode that was meant for you to hear. Whatever it activated within you, trust it, act on it. And remember, it's all soul growth.